Hello. I hope everyone will join. So today we are going to see Git Basics. On the last session, we have discussed something about our project, or we have discussed about, you can say, fundamentals of the Git. So in this session I am going to type the code which is related to the Git. So when you say Git, in the last session we discussed what do you exactly mean by Git. So in this session we would be working with actual Git related things. So we would be typing the code for the Git. Now just a minute. Just a minute, team. I'm just checking some settings related to this live. Just a minute, team. Now we are understanding what is Git Basics. And when you say Git Basics, just a minute team, just give me a minute. Just a minute team. Oh, thank you. Thank you for updating about there is no sound. So here first we need to have the Git repository with us. So when you say Git repository, there is any folder. So you need to create the folder like this. So here I have created one folder, and into this folder, on the Git we have created folder. Let me revise the concept of the Git, what we have seen. So when you say Git, remember that it is the software where software developers collaborate. For the understanding purpose, what example we have taken, that example is nothing about three developers are there and they want to collaborate for one of the project. So how do they do that? They do by means of sending their source code files over the email, over the WhatsApp or whatever. But there should be a more precise way. There should be a software way. And that's why people have created a software to work with this, and that is nothing but what the Git is. Well, Git is that software. github.com is a software as a service. GitLab also software as a service, and the Bitbucket, that is also software as a service. But all of them follow the Git terminology. They know what do you mean by Git exactly. Now let's try to do hands-on with this Git repository. So let me go here, Sketchpad, and to the Sketchpad, the first operation we are going to see there are few operations. I can say Git Basics. Git what? Basics. This is the chapter that we are studying today. So every day we will take one chapter and we will understand that chapter. So Git Basics. So first thing you need to do if you want to interact with the Git is create a repository. So when you say repository, when you talk about repository, remember that you are talking about a folder that is shared with different the folder which is shared with different collaborators. So people who collaborate on the Git, the people who wants to collaborate for one of the software, we call it as we call it as collaborators. So there are multiple peoples who are dealing with this repo. So this would be the repo. Multiple people will collaborating the source code on this repo. So first thing what you need to do, if you want to collaborate, if you go here on this repository, and can you see there is something called as code over here, and to this code there is a link. If you see, use a Git or the checkout with SVN using this URL. There are three ways: using the SSH, using the GitHub CLI, and the HTTPS. If you remember the first lecture, into the first lecture we have seen there is something called as Git Client. We have downloaded the Git Client, and that Git Client is nothing but what? A Git SCM. Well, all these details I have provided on the Discord channel. So if you have a link to the Discord channel, you can join it. Otherwise, if you don't know the link, please let me know in the chat box. If you need a Discord channel link, please let me know in the chat box. I will update it. Okay. So let's go ahead with first operation. See, I have clicked this. It is saying that it is copied. The first operation we are going to see is the clone. What's the first operation? Clone. We are cloning into the repository. We are cloning Git repository into our project. Clone. First operation is nothing but what? Clone. If you want to work, or if you want to become a full stack developer, it is really good to have a Git knowledge with you, how exactly Git works, right? Okay, let's go here. I am opening the terminal. I'm opening the terminal over here, and inside this terminal, let me navigate to the desktop, and onto the desktop I would like to clone Git. See, Git already you have installed. If you see Git version, hit the enter. Git version, sorry, spelling is wrong. Git version, hit the enter. Can you see Git version? This is the client version. So we have installed the client on the machine. It is nothing but that version. It is nothing but what? That version. Now So first operation we are working with, that is nothing but what the clone is. So we are cloning. Let me clone it. Let's go here. And can you see there is a command called as git clone, git space clone space, like this. And what you need to clone? This thing. Whatever the URL is there here, that URL you need to clone. So first operation is a clone. What do you mean by clone? Getting the remote repository into your local machine. Getting the remote repository into your local machine. So let's do that. Git space clone, you need to paste the URL. The minute you paste the URL and hit the enter, on the desktop one folder would be getting created. Can you see cloning into the professional-java full stack YT live? One folder has been created over there. So let's go into that CD and name of the folder would be professional, like this, professional Java live. Just clear it again. Yeah, so I'm inside the folder professional Java full stack. Now if I hit one command ls-l, if you see a readme.md is there. So this readme.md is already available over here, if you see. Now if you go inside that folder, just a minute, let's go inside that folder. Let's go inside that folder. I'm moving ahead, or I'm going to that folder, and it is nothing but this folder. Can you see there is a readme.md available? There is a readme.md file available. So whenever you clone the repository, remember that from the server, folder will come on your machine. One folder will come to your machine. Now let's go ahead over here, and another command I need to fire, that is nothing but what? Git status. There is one more command we have, that is nothing but what? Git status. So when you talk about the status, it shows the status of the files on your machine. It shows what? Status of the files on your machine. I'll show you what I mean to say. Git status. And if you see on the main branch, right, your branch is up to date with what you can say origin main. Now what is a branch we will discuss. Nothing to commit, working tree is clean. Nothing to commit, and your working tree is what? Clean. So what I will do, let's go inside that and let's create, I will open it and I will create a new folder inside that. Let me create a new file over there, or the folder over there. Right click, and I can say, or let me open this folder into the VS Code, and for creating a new file I will use that. Just select it, and now if I say here, I can say abc.txt, and here I can say, hey hi, how are you? Right, hey hi, how are you? Save it. Now if you go to the terminal, and again if you make a command git status, hit the enter, can you see untracked files? If you see here, git status, On the main branch, nothing is happening, everything is okay. But here if you see abc.txt, if you see here untracked files abc.txt, which is in the red. So here Git says that, well, inside this folder, now look at the scenario, what I mean to say. So here readme.md file is there. Okay. Now on your local folder, there is a readme file that is available on the server, and that's why it is getting reflected over here, no problem. But if you see, Git is saying that, boss, there is a one more file which is not available on the server, and that's why Git said it as untracked file. If you can see, untracked files means there are two different files, tracked files and untracked files. If you are watching this and if you have understood this, please acknowledge me in the chat box. If you have understood this thing, please acknowledge me in the chat box. Whatever I am telling you, if you understood, please say yes or no. Write it in the chat box. Hello? Am I audible? If you are watching this, you can acknowledge me in the chat box. Am I audible, team? Okay. Now what I need to do, here if you see, there is one untracked file, that is abc.txt, which means that this file is not under the Git control. This file is not under what? Git control. And if you see again, there is something called as Git Add and the files. Can you see the command? Your Git client is saying, there is a one untracked file abc.txt. Now if you want to track it, you can say git add name of the file abc.txt and hit the enter. Now again you can make a git status. And can you see? Changes to be committed. And here you will find abc.txt is in the green color, and here you will find abc.txt is in the red color, which means that earlier, before this command, that is nothing but, where is that, git commit or git add. If you see here, I have written the file git add abc.txt. The file has been added to the version control, and we are using which version control? Git. And then you made a git status, it becomes in the green. Now if you see, there is one more command, Git Restore -- staged. Now what do you mean by stage? So in the Git, we can say, in the Git, there are different areas. So we will see this thing. I will open this over here. If you see this image, you are in a working directory. You are in a what? Working directory. If you are in a working directory, if you want to add, look at the areas that you have over here. First is a staging area, then local repo, and the remote repo. Staging area, local repository and remote repository. Local repository, staging area, local repository and the remote repository. So what happens over here, this is your working directory, no doubt this is your working directory. So this professional whatever, this is your working directory. Now from the working directory you add the files to the staging area. From the working directory you add the files to the staging area, and if you see this terminal, that's what we have done. Git add, can you see git add abc.txt? You have added that files to the staging area. So this is the staging area. Now what is this, the significance of having staging area? So staging area says that, so before pushing it to the server, you need to mark the files which would be added or which would be tracked under this version control system. If you remember the first lecture, in the first lecture we discussed what is a version control system. Version control system is that thing, version control system is that thing which keeps the track of the files, which keeps the versions of your files. So here from the working directory, git add is the command. So staging area says that all these files need to be part of the version control system. See, I'm repeating again. So whatever files are there in the working directory, that files, if you want to be tracked by Git, right, then you need to take them to the staging area. That's what the staging area is. And how do you do that thing? Git add. If you want to remove the files from the staging area, there is a command called as restore. So there are two files here, two commands which are similar. One command adds files to the staging area, another command restore removes files from the staging area. Remember that. So these are the two files, git add, git restore. Let's go ahead, let's try to do the restore. If you see git space restore -- staged, whatever files are staged, restore them. Name of the file abc.txt. Remember that here we have added abc.txt and now we need to restore it, txt. Hit the enter. Now again do git status, and can you see untracked file? So here it was earlier untracked, then we added git add, the file is getting tracked, then again we have removed from the staging area, that is git restore. So remember, these are the basic commands. You need to know the commands. You should be very well familiar for working with the commands. Now when you say git, it is all about all these things. Let's do it, some next commands. So I'm going to again add it to the staging area, which means by this, from the staging area we need to add it to the local repository. Now what is the local repository, that we will see in a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, Now, what I wanted to do, just a minute, team. Okay. I hope you there. Check this. Adil, what you want to say? Hello? If you want to say something, Adil, what should I check? Adil, you can respond in the chat box if you want me to do something. Okay, now what we have done, Git Add Git Restore, adding the files to the, if you want to add files to the staging area, there is a command Git Add. If you want to remove the files from the staging area, there is a command called as Git Restore, right? That's what we have seen. Now I want to add to the local repo. Remember that there is a difference. You will ask me, what's the difference between adding the files to the staging area and to the local repo? So staging area, you are just marking, that is just a flag. You are saying that these files would be getting tracked by the subversion control or VCS, version control system. And local repo, there would be one ID would be getting generated, right? One ID would be getting generated, and that ID will say that whenever you will push the code, whenever you will push the code to the server, right? This particular file would be transferred from the local repository to the remote repository. Means Git Add is in the staging area. These two operations are in the staging area. Now next operation is you can say commit. Means you are saying that I would be pushing, or I would be, sorry, it's a commit. You can say I would be adding some files to the Git, so that would be getting uploaded to the server. So Git add to the local, add to the staging From the staging, we need to add it to the local repository, and from the local you need to send it to the remote repository. So this would be the structure kind of. So let us do that thing, commit. But before that I need to add the file. See now, git add and name of the file abc.txt. hit the enter, file would be getting added. After adding the file, just check git status, you can see new file would be getting added. Now see git commit, git what? Commit. And for committing you need to give a message -m why you want to push the code, or why you want to add this file to the git. In the quotes you need to say creating sample file, or testing or learning, you can say git operations, learning git operations. Git commit -m is the message, hit the enter. And if you see here, one file changed, and see here, one file changed, one file inserted, and here you can say abc.txt, some 1004 and abc.txt. Now just type git status and hit the enter. Right, your branch is ahead of origin main. What is the branch we will see? By one commit, use git push to publish your local commits. Now what is happening here, let me tell you. So this is your remote repository. Actually this is your remote repository. This is your remote repository, and this is your local repository, right? So whenever you clone, this local repository comes from the first clone. So whenever you make a clone, you copy the repository from Git server to the local machine, and at that time one local repository comes on your machine, local repository, and this is your, what you can say, a local repository. This is the local repository, this one. So here we can say a remote repo. I will show you the local also. A remote repo, and here you can say local repo. Now what I want, I will show you. This is the folder. Now see, one file or one folder is hidden over here. Now how to do that? How to enable that folder? Let me show you. Yeah, can you see here? This is the local repository actually, and this local repository contains some configuration. If you remember the first lecture, in the first lecture we have seen how to configure your Git repository. Now open the terminal, and in a terminal you can say git config -global. So it will show you, the global configuration you have on your system. or you go here and just type git config. Git config. Just a minute. So if you want to check what's there, first let's go to the folder. So git config, and you can say user.email. It will show you what's the email configured over here. Well, this is the global configuration. This is what the global configuration. You can go here and just go inside this, and can you see there is a config over here? If you see over here, there is a config directory, and that's what it is reading. Just double click on this, and if you see here, it is saying that remote origin. What is the URL of the remote origin? This is the URL of the remote origin. This is the URL of what? Remote origin. So which is saying that here I am uploading the files. See, this is a config file. Here I am uploading, or I am reading the files from. Now I can show you that as well. So here you can just go and type one more command to check what is the URL. Git, just a minute, sorry, not this, just clear it, and we can say git config show origin, or instead of show origin, just say, just don't type config keyword, git remote show origin. Can you see the fetch URL is this and push URL is this. Similarly, you can do same thing with the git config -get. -get means what? Just read it. remote.origin.url. Can you see? Only this URL you can find, and this URL is coming from, you can see this file. Can you see? Remote origin URL, git config -get remote origin URL. Well, this command reads from the local file. Remember that this command reads your local file, which is nothing but this config file, while git remote show origin, which will actually make one web call, and it fetches the URL and shows it over here, right? And it shows it over here. Hello? And it shows that particular file over here. Now next part, we have seen, see what is a remote repo. We have discussed what is the remote repo. Whenever you clone by means of git clone space URL, and there is a folder gets downloaded on your machine, and into that folder one subfolder gets created. If you see this .git, this is nothing but what your local repo is, right? Here all the things are getting stored. Now we have committed it. Committed, if you see this, Git add, Git commit from the staging area to the local area. Now from the local area to the remote repo. Now if you see here, you cannot find that abc.txt over here. Can you see only one readme.md is there? And you will not find abc.txt over here. Why you will not find abc.txt? Still, the file is on your local computer. The file is not available on the remote server. Why? Because you just have added it to the local. Now from the local to the remote, I want to push the data. Now see, git add, git commit, and then there is something called as git push, and hit the enter. It will now if you see, you just made git push. Now go here, if you see the logs that it is showing you. Now here you can see git push, enumerating the object 4 done, counting the object 100%, 4 of 4 done. Delta compression, just forget about this thing. Compressing the object, just forget about this thing. The total 3, reuse 0, pack, something like that, and the object has been pushed to this URL. From your local machine, objects are pushed to this URL. Just go here and refresh it again, and can you see now abc.txt has been uploaded over here. abc.txt. Now go here and see, hey, hi, how are you? That has been uploaded. Now one more thing, can you see a learning Git operation? This message we have given at the time of committing. If you remember, this message we have given at the time of committing, and you can see that over here. Just click on, can you see 2 commits I can find? Just click on the commit and see here, create the readme.md on the 21st September, and on the 28th September, learning Git operations, and on the 28th September, learning Git operations. If you click over here, it will tell you, can you see, one file abc.txt has been added, and here you can say, hey, hi, how are you is there. Hey, hi, how are you is there. Means you have added. So what's happening over here? You have added files from local to the remote. You have added files from the local to the remote. So operations, you can say git clone, git status, git add, git restore. Now just try to add the git status over here, git status, and something called as ds_store is untracked. So one very important thing I would like to show you, just in a minute I will do that thing. Now we have added the file, we have uploaded the file, but if you have committed something, how do you revert it? Means you have added by means of git add, and you can restore it also by means of git restore. You have committed it, and you need to remove the file changes from the local repo and take it to the staging. How do you do that? How do you do that? So that can be done by means of, you can say, Git Reset. There is one command called as Git Reset. There is one command called as what? Git Reset. Let's do that thing. Now file has been uploaded to the Git. Now what I want to do, I want to create a new file again. I can go here and create new file, say pqr txt, and here, hey, I am okay, right? I am what? Okay. I just want to do this thing. Hey, I am okay. Now if you go here, let me clear it. If you go over here, say git add pqr.txt, git status, can you see new file pqr.txt, and now what I want to do, git commit /m, checking git or uncommitting from git, okay, can you see inserted like this. Now from here, which means that git add we have done, git commit we have done, which means that our file is in the local repo now. From the local repo, I want to take it to the staging area again. So there is one command called as Git Reset. There is one command called as Git Reset. Git, just make a git status again. Okay. Now git reset -- soft. Okay, git reset -- soft, and again do git status. Soft to which? To the head. Sorry, soft head, and this cap you need to add. Hit the enter and see git status. Can you see? See the command git reset -- soft to which branch or which head? That is nothing but what? This thing. So for this, I would like to go here. Just go to the git repo, and here you will find 2 commits are there, right? See, this commit we have not been uploaded. This commit we have not uploaded to the remote repo. This commit we have not uploaded to the remote repo. Which one? This one. So if you see git commit, so I'll do it again. See, git commit -m, git commit -m, and we can say checking reset operation, right? Checking, remember that we have added this file. So what we are trying, just look at here, git add from the working directory to the staging area, from the staging area to the local repo. Git add working directory to the staging area, from the staging area to the local repo, git commit. But what I want to do, I don't want to upload from the local repo to the remote repo using git push, but I want to, what you can say, I want to revert the changes from local repo to the staging area. I want to revert the changes from the local repo to the staging area, and for that there is a command. Just hit enter over here, and you can check git status, and here you will find the files has been added to the local. Files has been added to what? Local. Now you can fire one more command, git log, and if you see git log, when you hit the git log operation, can you see here head is pointing to the main. Now see here, so can you see learning git operation, checking the reset operation. So this is the recent thing I have done, learning. So this is the first thing. In the beginning, 21st of the September, I have created this file. Can you see? Create readme.md. Then learning Git operation. Can you see the commit ID has been created? Origin main, origin head. And then here, if you can see, this is the recent one now. This is the recent one. Now, I don't want this inside my local, but I should start pointing to this. So what do you mean by uncommit? Uncommit means what? Just remove this and just revert to this line. And revert to what? This line. And how to do that? How to do that? That can be done by means of reset operation. And see what is the reset operation now. So when you say git reset, see, so you need to say that, please go to this line. Now see git reset, and see -- soft and -- hard, which means that the changes made inside this commit would be retained. If you say -- hard, do not retain any changes, just delete it. See now, -- hard, right? And then I would like to make head. Hit the enter. Head is now checking the reset operation. So just do it now. Git status. Okay. Head and the cap. What is the meaning of the cap? That you will get to know tomorrow. Just hit the enter. Git status. Okay, just a minute. Git log. Inside the log, learning Git operation. If you see, there is what? Learning Git operation. This thing, this was I have pushed in the beginning. And this was the recent one, which means that one thing has been deleted permanently. That is nothing but what? Hard reset. There are two things, soft reset and the hard reset. Soft reset and the hard reset. I hope team you have understood this much part today. Tomorrow again we are going to see some more about Git basics, and then day after tomorrow we would be starting with the Java. Day after tomorrow we would be starting with what? Java. So thanks team. I'm ending the today's stream and we'll meet tomorrow 6:30 p.m. sharp. Okay, I'm ending the stream. We'll meet tomorrow 6:30 p.m. sharp. So tomorrow also we will work with the Git basics. Few more things related to the Git. If time permits, we'll start with the Java also. Thank you.